A blast at a fireworks factory in China's Hunan province has killed 26 people and left 61 wounded, according to state media. Rescue operations have wrapped up at the Huasheng fireworks plant in the southern city of Liuyang after an explosion on Monday afternoon forced authorities to evacuate everyone within a 3 kilometres, 1.9 mile radius of the plant.
A coal mine explosion in Colombia's Cundinamarca province killed 9 workers and injured 6, the National Mining Agency said, weeks after issuing risk control recommendations for the site. The blast on Monday at a legally operated mine in the Sutatausa municipality, 72 kilometers, 45 miles north of the capital Bogota, was caused by a buildup of gases, the agency said. Millions of football fans in the world's 2 most populous nations may not be able to watch the FIFA World Cup, which starts next month, due to a deadlock over broadcast rights in India and no official decision in China. There has been no deal announcement in China, which FIFA says accounted for 49.8% of all hours of viewing on digital and social platforms globally during the 2022 World Cup, as well as in India.
A rare reckoning took place within Israel's security establishment this week as senior officials issued increasingly stark warnings about settler violence in the occupied West Bank. According to Israeli media reports, the commander of Israeli military forces in the West Bank made in a closed forum that rising settler attacks could spark a Palestinian uprising, and called the actions of the settlers a disgrace to the Jewish people. Gaza City, Palestine. The United Nations has warned that a new public health crisis is emerging in Gaza as skin diseases spread in crowded camps throughout the enclave, with fears that the situation could soon worsen during the summer. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, has said the number of skin infections has tripled in recent months, with rising temperatures, overcrowding and worsening sanitation creating a breeding ground for scabies, chickenpox and other diseases, particularly among children.
And a significant development project has been initiated to directly link Margala Road with the motorway, aimed at easing travel for citizens. The project was visited by Federal Minister for Interior, Mohsin Naqvi, and who inspected the ongoing construction activities and was briefed on the details of this mega project. The initiative is set to enhance connectivity between Islamabad and the motorway, providing a faster, more convenient route for commuters. And the 2.7 kilometre long project will involve the construction of a 3-lane road on both sides, along with a 2-lane service road. In addition, 2 underpasses and 1 bridge will be built on the GT road to facilitate smoother traffic flow.
The government of Punjab has extended the application deadline for the CM Punjab Revolutionary Internship Programme for veterinary graduates and paravets until May 15, offering more time for candidates to apply under the initiative.
Pakistan's diplomatic missions in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, UAE, have resumed passport services after a temporary suspension caused by technical issues at the Directorate General of Immigration and Passports headquarters in Islamabad. According to official notices issued by the Embassy of Pakistan in Riyadh and the Embassy of Pakistan in Abu Dhabi, passport operations were restored on May 5, 2026. Applicants can now visit the embassies to apply for passport issuance and renewal during designated hours.
The government of Pakistan has launched a nationwide initiative to integrate social-emotional learning, SCLL, into school curricula, aiming to strengthen students' mental, emotional and social development alongside academics. The programme has been introduced in partnership with Right to Play and will be implemented under the Ministry of Federal Education and Professional Training in collaboration with the Federal Directorate of Education. The Special Technology Zones Authority has launched the second phase of its Incentive Transition and Ecosystem Strengthening Programme, aimed at improving regulatory integration and expanding support for technology businesses operating in special technology zones. The new phase builds on earlier efforts to streamline licensing through the One Window portal and now focuses on deeper digital integration with keys of doing business to improve ease of doing business. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Tuesday strongly condemned the missiles and drone attacks on civilian infrastructure in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, expressing complete solidarity with the country's President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Pakistan stands firmly with our Emirati brothers and sisters, as well as with the government of the UAE at this difficult time. PM Shehbaz said in a social media post on X.
And an Indian pilot group has submitted a letter to the Aviation Ministry suggesting that electrical failure and not pilot action could have caused the deadly Air India crash last year. The submission by the Federation of Indian Pilots, FIP, which has more than 5,000 members, comes ahead of the expected final report into the crash of the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner that killed 260 people shortly after takeoff on June 12, 2025.
Governments in Asia, the top oil importing region, are scrambling to find alternatives and insulate their economies from the worst of the energy crisis triggered by the Iran war. But the pain is getting increasingly costly. The disruption spurred the Asian Development Bank to cut its growth forecast for developing Asia and the Pacific to 4.7% this year and 4.8 PC in 2027. Down from 5.1 PC for both years previously, and lifted its inflation outlook to 5.2 PC for this year.
And FIFA's Independent Ethics Committee has banned former Guyana Football Federation, GFF, General Secretary Ian Alves from all football-related activities for 5 years after finding he sexually harassed female staff members. And FIFA also fined Alves 20,000 Swiss francs, 25,500, after determining that he had breached provisions of the FIFA Code of Ethics relating to the protection of physical and mental integrity and abuse of position and general duties.
The United Arab Emirates has said its air defences intercepted ballistic and cruise missiles fired from Iran, while a fire was reported at an oil facility in Fujairah after a suspected drone attack. Tehran has not officially commented. Qatar, Jordan, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, along with the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, and the European Union have condemned the suspected Iranian strike on the UAE.
And Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered an investigation after an explosion ripped through a fireworks factory in central China and its surrounding area, killing at least 26 people and injuring 61. Xi's order on Tuesday came a day after the explosion at the Huasheng fireworks plant in Liuyang, a city of 1.5 million in central Hunan province.
The Xiaomi 17T series has surfaced again in new leaks, revealing full specifications, design details and expected pricing ahead of launch. Earlier reports suggested the lineup could debut as early as May, and the devices have since appeared in multiple certifications and listings. At least 10 people have died in Karachi due to an intense heat wave as temperatures soared to 44.1 degrees Celsius, the highest recorded in the city since 2018. Officials said relief organisations Eddy Foundation and Chipper Welfare Association reported that most of the victims were found in different parts of the city, with several remaining unidentified.
And the Karachi administration has approved 21 cattle markets across the city ahead of Eid al-Adha, distributing sites across all districts while assigning oversight to multiple authorities to manage the seasonal activity. And according to the official plan, 4 markets will operate as permanent facilities, while 17 will be established on a temporary basis. 6 markets will be managed by the Karachi Metropolitan Corporation, KMC, and while the remaining will fall under the supervision of Deputy Commissioners and Town Municipal Corporations, TMC. And the Ministry of Education in the UAE has ordered the closure of educational institutions and directed a shift to online learning across the country. According to the directive, from Tuesday, May 5, 2026 to Friday, May 8, 2026, all Sorcery's public and private schools in the United Arab Emirates will conduct classes online.
The European Commission has advised member states to exclude Chinese networking equipment from suppliers such as Huawei and ZTE from their telecom infrastructure. The guidance, shared by a European Commission spokesperson, is not a legally binding rule. However, it signals a clear move toward restricting the use of Chinese networking equipment across the European Union. Climate change is no longer a distant warning. It is a lived reality reshaping weather systems, economies and human security across the globe. For Pakistan, and particularly for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, its effects are immediate and intensifying. The KP Chief Minister noted that the province faces a growing spectrum of climate-related risks, including riverine and flash floods, glacial lake outburst floods, prolonged droughts, heat waves, urban flooding, and the spread of vector-borne diseases. He warned that the scale and frequency of these events are expected to increase further, requiring urgent and sustained action.
Islamabad. Former NADRA chairman Tariq Malik has been named one of the world's top 25 identity leaders by US-based company Okta. The list by Okta Ventures, the venture investment arm of Okta, is a diverse compilation of forward-thinking developers, strategists, business leaders, and public servants. A blast at a fireworks factory in China's Hunan province has killed 21 people and injured 61, prompting a call from President Xi Jinping for a thorough investigation. State media reported on Tuesday the explosion in Liuyang, under the administration of Hunan's capital city of Changsha, and a hub for fireworks manufacturing, occurred on Monday at around 4:40 p.m. EU 8:40 GMT, according to reports by CCTV and Xinhua. Verdict authored by Justice Mohsin Akhtar Kayani declares Council's 2025 opinion against engineer Mohammed Ali Mirza null and void. Judgment says advisory body overstepped its constitutional mandate under Articles 229 and 230 Islamabad. In a landmark verdict, the Islamabad High Court, IHC, has ruled that the Council of Islamic Ideology, CII, has no legal authority to issue opinions on the criminal culpability of individuals. It's the biggest night in fashion. Celebrities arrived to the 2026 Met Gala with their take on this year's theme, costume art, where organizers asked attendees to experiment with the lavish and whimsical dress code.
And done. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has admitted that the Premier League title race has slipped out of his team's fat control after they were held to a chaotic 3-3 draw at Everton. It's now not in our hands. Before it was, now no, Guardiola said after the match on Monday. And Iran has accused the United States of killing 5 civilians in the Strait of Hormuz, saying its forces attacked passenger vessels in the waterway rather than boats belonging to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, as claimed. The claim on Tuesday contradicted a statement by US Admiral Brad Cooper, who said Central Command forces had sunk 6 IRGC vessels that had attempted to interfere with a US mission to escort stranded ships out of the Strait of Hormuz. And Charsad DA. Renowned cleric Maulana Muhammad Idris was killed on Tuesday after unidentified assailants opened fire on him, police said. According to police, 2 police officials were also injured in the incident. The cleric's body was subsequently shifted to the district headquarters hospital.
The dust at this busy recycling plant is pervasive, and the steady noise of hoppers and conveyor belts makes this a challenging environment to work in. The facility in Rainham, East London, is owned by Sharp Group, a family-run skip and waste management firm.